Hi guys, the boiler's just packed up, so I'm going to go to the Savoy today to warm up a little bit. Hopefully my driver doesn't drive past the working class scum on the way there, because it'll really ruin my day.
Would you like to touch what you see?
Yes, I would.
Would you like to go out with me?
Yes, I would.
Would you like to...
That was my Lydia Millen impression, by the way. God love her. Fantastic interior design tips, but talk about being out of touch. Cost of living, love. Yeah? If your boiler's broken, you go to your mum's house for a shower. Not £1,000 a night, Savoy. I know she's working, but anyway. Welcome back to another Hyrox update. For those that are unaware or new to the channel, I used to bodybuild. I know I don't look like it. I used to inject steroids and that. Now I do functional fitness, bruv. End of January, myself and Jade have a mixed doubles Hyrox event in Manchester. So in today's episode, I'm going to take you through what I'm eating for that event and how I'm training for it as well. In front of you, or me, you'll see two meals. We've got cereal and a Rice Krispie square bar, oats and a Rice Krispie square bar. Based on what session I'm doing in the morning, I'll have either cereal, bowl of cereal, if it's more anaerobic work, 30-40 minutes, high intensity, throwing some weights about. That'll be my pre-workout. Or if I've got more of an aerobic session, longer distance, like my Sunday cycles or my Sunday runs around Greenwich, I'll have a big bowl of oats, frozen berries, honey, and some dark chocolate with a Rice Krispie square bar. What are you thinking? No protein? Where's the protein, Tom? I don't consume any protein for my pre-workout meal. I'm just looking to utilise carbohydrates and fats. However, during my training, I'll be sipping on an essential amino acid to get some aminos in, and also some carbohydrates. Cyclic dextrin being the go-to choice. Far easier to digest. It's going to keep our blood where it should be and not pull it into the stomach to help aid digestion. So that's my current setup. I wake up at 6 AM. I used to wake up at 5, but because my testosterone's that of an 8-year-old man at the moment, I need to give myself an additional sleep cycle. We'll be doing a video very soon on how I'm feeling, 9 weeks off TRT, and we're just waiting on some bloods to come back from Medichecks, which should be this week, so keep your eyes peeled for that video. Okay, that is my current setup. Let's go and grab a coffee, and we'll talk a little bit about heart rate zones for today's session. No, not today.
What can I get you?
Can I get a single espresso, please?
Just single, yeah?
Thank you, yeah. I shall position myself on the right-hand side to allow for calculations on the left-hand side whilst I'll sip my espresso. Not espresso. I budget myself £15 a week for coffee. That's £3 a week. It's completely up to me what I decide on that week. It could be 3 espressos, 3 Americanos, 1 flat white, one Americano. Right, let's get into zonal training. So I really struggled with this when I first started training like this, to keep my heart rate in that zone too, but it was just because my pace was too fast when I was running and I had to really pull it back down. And I think obviously fitness levels are going to be quite poor when doing this, so you will see vast improvements in your ability to stay in certain zones when you are training. Today we have a 15-minute run, a 10-minute cycle and a 10-minute row twice, and our objective is to keep our heart rate in zone 3. When I say zone 3, that is 70 to 80% of our max heart rate. How we calculate our max heart rate is, there's a few formulations. 220 minus your age is the most frequent one, which puts mine at about 193, I think. We've got 207 minus 0.7 times your age, or just go out on a track or a treadmill and test it. Try and get your heart rate to highest point as possible. I'd recommend using a chest polar or a chest strap as opposed to a wrist. Sometimes the movement in that can negate the actual accuracy of these things. So when testing, or in general when looking at heart rate testing, try and use a polar. And then from that, we feed back the data and we can easily calculate what zones we should be in. Is that all good? I'm now going to go to David Lloyd and train. I apologise in advance if you hear any rustling. I'm currently sitting in my coat in my office because it's that cold. I did ring up the Savoy and said, can I come down to warm up? And they said, no, go away. I said, that's extremely rude. Continuing on from our discussion about max heart rate, once we have that figure, it allows us to calculate our zone heart rate much easier. So as an example, today we've got zone 3. That's 70 to 80% of our max heart rate. For myself, I'm trying to shoot between 133 beats per minute and 152 beats per minute. You'll see on the screen in a second my data from my Garmin. I use a Garmin Fenix 6, by the way. A lot of people ask on a frequent basis. Garmin Fenix 6 is what I use. Did a decent enough job at keeping my heart rate in that zone. So 146 was the average. But notice on that graph as well, there's 2 quite large spikes, and that comes from my runs. One area in particular that I've really struggled with this transition into this style of training is running. and my ability to keep my heart rate in a zone 2 or low zone 3 based on whatever session I've got, and not beat myself up too much about the lack of distance being covered. You know, this goes for everyone. We have all got different fitness levels. We've all got different starting points. You'll often find yourself stronger on maybe the bike or the row, or there might be individuals that are actually stronger on the run and struggle with the bike or row and the ski. For me, it's the run. And when I first started trying to do zonal running or zonal 2 and zone 3 runs, I was getting really annoyed with my lack of distance. You've got to disconnect yourself from the distance totally. You have to get comfortable at just spending some time on the feet. I'm talking 60 minutes on a Sunday as an example, run around Greenwich, disconnect from the distance and just ensure that you're keeping your heart rate in that zone 2 or that zone 3. I can assure you, you will progress and you will adapt. We as bodybuilders didn't go into the gym and slap 6 plates on the Cybex hack. It took us time to get there. Same way with running, it's going to take us time to get to a certain level of fitness. Time for breakfast, post-workout. We've got some sourdough, avocado with chili, some rocket, some nice crispy bacon. Lay our eggs down. Get some feta cheese. And then this is tomato, fresh coriander, and a reduced fat French dressing. Time for breakfast. We have sourdough, avocado, rocket, 2 eggs, 2 bacon, some tomatoes, fresh coriander, orange juice with 5 grams of creatine. Just 5 grams of creatine on hydrate. I'm definitely noticing I'm having higher fats with this particular style of training. I feel more energized, more productive. I feel less sluggish. Back in my bodybuilding days, I used to drive a lot of carbohydrates into the system, but I feel performance-wise, recovery-wise, all good with the current intake. What we'll do at the end of the video is just track. I will track today and show you how many fats, carbohydrates and protein I am consuming. Stay. Great vision, that. Ow! The American Bulldog is in him. Sit, sit, stay. I know I'm extremely late to the party, but nevertheless I have joined. This is the best invention ever. Don't get my hands dirty, don't have to... Calm yourself, boy. Don't have to get my hands dirty, don't have to bend down. It's great. You ready for student lunch? Student lunch. That I need to use now because I'm hella busy. Quick, fast, simple, fairly nutritious and tasty. Full speed, Savoy Paris. It ain't quite council estate. I'm not talking spaghetti hoops on toast. I'm talking tuna jacket potato. Huh? I'm not reliving the council estate life, although I do like to relive the council estate life sometimes. Tell me in the comment section how broke you've ever been. I'll go first. Cocoa Pops and water. Never forget that as a kid opening the door. No milk. No milk, Dad. No, son. Not today. Whenever I do a piece of content on like Instagram, like a reel or a YouTube vlog, or I get a lot of frequently asked questions on editing software and cameras as well. So what I'm shooting on right now, this is very poor. Right this second, I'm shooting on a Canon R6 with a Sigma 24mm lens, 1.4, with a Rode Video Mic Pro Plus. My backup camera is a Canon EOS R, and then sometimes I interchange these lenses. So this is a 24mm fixed, and then this is a 15 to 35mm Canon, which is it's a big old lens that, but whenever I want wide shots and things like that, I'll use it. In terms of editing software, Final Cut Pro is what I use, and then for plugins, I'll use Motion VFX. On the screen now is my MetFlow ad that I did for Instagram. I think it's really good. I'm gonna play it now for you. Congratulations, you made it to enrollment at MetFlow HQ. Your growth starts here. People's attention spans are too short nowadays. This isn't gonna work. And that was done using a Chasing Dreams modular template. It's like Stomp. So basically I really wanted to encapsulate like fast paced. So I found the Stomp video, and then I found this on Motion VFX, and I merged the two together. It took me a long time though. It took me a couple of days, but I was pleased with it. I'm gonna wrap up a little bit of work now go and cook, and then have a bath, and then eat. Tagliatelle bolognese. Usually I'll have some bread to accompany this, or whatever I fancy when I'm shopping on a Sunday or a Wednesday. The majority of my calories at the moment probably come through my evening meal. Like I said, I feel like I'm functioning, performing well with that sort of food intake that you've seen today, around about breakfast, pre-workout and lunch, and then just, I am most hungry, as is most people, in the evening time. So I have a big bowl of pasta, that's 150 grams of tagliatelle, I think, maybe 175, 300 grams of mince. Sit that, enjoy it. I was going to have a bath, but I'm hungry, I'm going to have this and then have a bath. New book. Very, very good so far. You know a book is good when you're excited to get home and read it. Manscaped. I've got a new one for you. The 3 Bs. Beard, body and balls. I don't know why they don't hire me on their marketing team, to be honest with you. Boys, we've got to stay fresh during these winter months. November, December, January, we tend to decline a little bit. We've got to level up. Fresh 24/7. I use Manscaped. Its ceramic blade technology helps. No nips downstairs. So you can walk about the Christmas markets without going, nip free. Also comes a really handy little charging point. Now I'm like really picky with my things that are on display. Luckily this looks decent. You can use code TMC. You'll not only get 10% off, but free shipping. They said 10% and I said, no, I want free shipping for my lot. They said, deal. Don't say I don't look after you. Final calories of the day. Getting some macros in. Braeburn apple, the best. They're the best. Pear and some blueberries. I look back at my previous 4 days of eating. I just look back at my diet in general. I'm alright with like greens and whatnot, but sometimes I slack. And my mum used to cut me up fruit when I was a kid, so I need to start doing that again. Jesus, these are hella ripe and ready. I like eating fruit when I'm in Spain. It's not right, it's not right. Hope you enjoyed this video, ladies and gentlemen. Just give you a little insight into one of the training sessions that I am doing on a weekly basis at the moment for Hyrox. We have got about, what, 7 or so weeks? I'm getting a little bit nervous. Don't get nervous, but I'm starting to get a little bit... I've got to like, just understand that this is my first ever one. First time I even started running properly. Don't expect too much. Someone asked me in the Q&A, like, what time are you going for? I think if I'm being really realistic, I'll be happy with like sub hour 20. Can't be doing no march on sub hour. That's just a mazza. But I think 1 hour 20, based on where my 1 kilometre splits are at the moment with my 5k and 10k, I think if we can average out like 5-minute 1ks and then the work in between, I think we should do all right. Right, catch you very soon. I'll see you before Christmas, won't I? Yeah, I'm sure you will. Love you all. Thank you, good night. Much love.